Autofocus. Ow! And being so close to the camera and looking so ugly. Damn, I'm so brave. Before the video starts, look at this. Does it show? Test results negative. Negative. Another news, my hair, it's longer than, I'm ahead of schedule of how long it is because I'm gonna donate it soon. So yeah, I'm happy about that. I'm like 3 months ahead of what my hair should have been right now. So I'm super happy. Alright, so this video is, you could say it's late. I should have uploaded it during when 2021 started, when the first like 3 days hit, but no, I'm doing it right now, and there's a reason for that. So everybody listen up, whether you're a little baby, an adult, a teen just like me. Well, I'm not a teen anymore, young adult, whatever you are, just listen up. So I don't know if I have weird lighting or whatnot, and plus, you know, the change of background, and you might be like, oh, I look ugly right now, and don't worry, that's just how I normally look like. Well, we have transitioned from 2020 to 2021. 2020 has been a crazy year, and you all know that I do not need to explain everything that went on. Everybody knows what went on. A lot of things happened, and because of that, a lot of our lives have changed. Some for the better and some for the worse. Mostly a lot for the worse for many people. Now, when New Year's comes, you know, people make the resolutions. Studies show that as much as 50% of people make resolutions for the new year, but only like around 10% actually keep those resolutions during the first few months, and even less than that, even smaller percentage actually keep them for the rest of, you know, the months, years, or even their lives. So the first thing I want to talk about is about the year 2020 and how we still live in the past. Even though this is a new year, there's a lot of people that come into the year wanting to change for the better, but there's a lot of people that come into the year just accepting that nothing is going to change. And I have to say that is both true and false. The reason why it's true that things will not change is if you keep that mindset, if you keep the mindset that things will not change, that things will only get worse, yada yada yada, well, that's gonna become the truth. Nothing is going to change and your life is going to keep being the same. And let me explain why. If you say that life is going to change and life is going to be different, first you have to acknowledge that, and then you have to work towards that in order to achieve that different. Now that you have that mindset that things will change in the new year, maybe you actually start exercising and start eating better, doing all these things, well then you're more likely going to change. Thing is, bringing back my topic that we're living in the past in 2020, is that the reason a lot of us are doing these, you know, changes is because it's a new year, new me. But the thing is, most of the time that doesn't work, because if you want to change, you have to change right now. It's not about a new month, a new week, or a new year, rather changing right now. It's not about starting tomorrow, because with change, you have to do it right at that exact moment. And by this I don't mean like you have to change and then automatically you're running 10 miles when you never even ran at all. No, what I'm saying is the first step is really accepting and knowing that you will change and not giving yourself a way out. Say you will change and you will do it. That's the first step. Second step is figuring out how you're going to do it. What steps are you going to take to get to those goals? An example of this would be to lose weight. Now with losing weight, it's both diet and exercise. Now the first step is to put it into my mind that I will lose weight. I will not have a way out, and I will start right now, at least mentally. What I mean by that is that you tell yourself you will not let yourself, you know, have a way out. You acknowledge that it will be difficult, it will not be easy. So that's the first step. Second step, you actually take those steps. So for example, I will have to practice on portion control, and as well as what I eat, what I have in my, you know, daily life. So of course I cannot just quit right away, because then, you know, your body's gonna crave it, then you can't sleep, this and that, and it's just gonna be harder for you for the overall process, which is why you take things slowly. And that goes as well with exercise in order to help you lose weight. So going back to what I was originally talking about, how we live in the past and all of that, is that the reason why it doesn't work when you're like, oh, new year, new me, I'm gonna start right now, it's because yes, there's a bit of motivation. So there's some motivation of the new year, I finally want to change. But the reason why it doesn't work is you shouldn't wait for a new year to change. In order to change, you have to do it right now. With me, I started December, well, actually late November. I started changing myself with first my physical health and then my mental health as well as adding things onto my life later on as I became stronger, both mentally and physically. I don't know why I did that. It was really gruesome at first because I didn't take it slow. What I did, I think I did a bad choice because I did everything all at once. And that caused a lot of stress on my mind and body. And I kept that up for 3 weeks. And I found out that when I let myself go for like 2 days, I just crashed, which is bad. Right now I'm doing it way better. I'm taking it more slower, not really, but to an extent I am. And I'm coming at it differently. So the thing with change is you don't want to wait for next week, next month, next year. The reason why is because you're always going to tell yourself that. And if you have that mindset, when the new year does start, then you're gonna fall back down. Why? Well, because you shouldn't have that mindset to keep it, for later. You have to start it right now. You have to be strong enough, have that willpower to overcome that. The thing is, you don't want to put what you could do today for tomorrow. My Spanish teacher for, I think it was 10th to 11th grade, every day, literally every day, my teacher would tell the whole class, never leave what you can do today for tomorrow. We always tend to do that. Well, we have to choose our sacrifices. What do we want to sacrifice? Right now, if you want to change, you can sacrifice a lot of things. The thing is, you have to choose what exactly you want to sacrifice. So in order for me to get stronger, more fit, and healthier, there's certain things I have to sacrifice which I do not want to do. I love eating, I would love eating cookies and all this junk food and a lot of extremely sugary drinks. The thing is, I have to do certain sacrifices. And when you're starting off, you don't have to sacrifice every single little thing unless you know you're capable of doing that. If you know you're not capable of doing that, well, you have to start off slowly and slowly start sacrificing more and more. And this concept of sacrificing, choosing your sacrifices, it goes with anything you want to do if you want to grow and change. This is an example. Actually, this is actually true. I would love to play more instruments. The thing is, I love watching YouTube and I have to choose my sacrifice. I could spend maybe 30 minutes less watching YouTube at night before I go to sleep and use that 30 minutes to play piano or guitar. Or I can choose to watch YouTube or watch a new anime or show, and in the long run, I'm sacrificing me not knowing how to play piano, or me not knowing how to play guitar, or me not being as good as a musician as I could be if I put away those 30 minutes, if I sacrifice those 30 minutes of YouTube every day. And like I said, this concept goes with everything you're trying to do. In order to gain some things, you have to let go of some things. You have to sacrifice some things. And if you're not willing to sacrifice some things, well, you're never going to change. That's the thing. And sometimes it is difficult to put this mentality through your head and move on. But you have to. Now, let me move on to my next topic. Well, it's still 90% relating to this, 95%. And that's the people who start a New Year's resolution because, they fell into the whole New Year, New Me, and then, 2 weeks in they gave up. This is the thing. And this also goes for not only New Year, New Me, but say you're an older person, you're 40, 50. There are some things you wanted to do when you were younger, you put aside, and you're like, now I'm too old, I can't do this anymore. This is that same mentality of, oh, I lost, what's the point of going on? Or I'm too deep into this, I'm gonna just keep, going, and I'll let my future self take care of it. We tend to do that a lot as humans. So for example, I'm overeating a lot. I'm overeating. I'm not doing anything about it. I'm gonna start next week. I always put it aside for my future self to take care of it. And I always tell myself in the head, I will do it. But that's the thing, you don't want your future self to take care of it, because if your future self is like you, then you're never gonna, take care of it. You're always gonna leave it aside for future self. Next thing you know, you're 80, full of regrets, and you didn't change anything. And even at 80, you can still change. I watch these videos online of like a person who's like 69 and he's just learning how to skate and he's good, like doing kickflips and stuff like that. And or there's people who are 75, 80 working out, like legit working out and building muscle and growing strong. And we as humans, as we grow older with age, we give ourselves more excuses as to why we can't do this. Oh, I have to pay bills. Oh, now you have kids and you have a family and all this. The thing is, we can do that. We're just not willing to sacrifice certain things to make those changes. And so whoever's watching this, if you're older, you have to sacrifice some things. If you're younger, well, learn how to do that before you have kids and a job and have less time. It's all about what you're willing to sacrifice, what you're willing to do. I feel like I went off tangent because I feel like I was going to talk about something else. Oh yeah, that's right. So for the people who went into 2021 going like, oh, I'm going to change, this is the year, and you go 1 week strong, you feel like you're losing motivation a week and a half in, and then 2 weeks you give up, and then you go continuing back to your normal self. The thing is, when you do that, like I said, you have that mindset of, oh, next week or this date I have to change. So when you give up, you give yourself a new date to change. You're like, oh, I messed up, I'll start again February, or I'll start again March, or I'll start again summer, or next year. And that cycle keeps on repeating itself. Don't let yourself fall into that cycle. If you failed, well, maybe give yourself a day, or you know what, give yourself more time, a few days, a week. Sometimes you might need even 2 weeks or a whole entire month to reflect, and use this time wisely. This time to reflect, you want to actually reflect. You don't want to take this time to fall deeper into that hole, which is what you tend to do. Well, not you, but like people in general. You fail. So when you fail, what do? You tend to be toxic to yourself. Say you were planning to eat healthier. You go 1 week strong, 2 weeks strong, you give up the third week, and then you start overeating even more than what you were like eating back before you started. And the thing is with that cycle is because you basically punish yourself for failing. The thing with that, it's super toxic. You end up being worse than when before you started. You should take this time to reflect. Don't punish yourself for failing. Celebrate for actually trying those 2 weeks. That's how you have to look at it. You actually did it. You committed yourself to try for those, it could have been 4 days. It could have been 2 days. It could have been 2 weeks, or it could have been an entire month. You have to actually acknowledge that you put aside the time and effort, the mental strength, physical strength, maybe spiritual strength, whatever it is. You gain all that strength. You got it together to actually commit to something, and you have to acknowledge that. Typically normally we don't acknowledge that. We acknowledge that we failed, and we never see that we actually tried in the first place. And that's what you should do. If you just look at that you failed, you're gonna end up being more toxic to yourself, harder on yourself, and that leads to worse outcome, and will lead to a worse way of living. The thing is, like I was explaining, and I'm gonna repeat myself again, the thing is that you have to acknowledge that you did something in the first place. That's what matters. Now you have to deal with failure, and the way you deal with that is reflecting. So first, acknowledge that you did good. That way you don't try to be abusive to yourself and toxic. So acknowledge you did good, and then you have to reflect. Where do you go wrong? Why do you go wrong? What can you do better next time? Maybe it was a bad setup. You just went all in without, doing your research first, or you started too quick probably, or you went too hard in the beginning. It could be a lot of things. So that's where you have to figure that out. And then you give yourself a little bit of rest, whether it's 1-2 days. Use this time to set yourself up, or it could be like a week. Like I said, this reflection time, it's all on you. And then once you do that, jump back in, just like that. Don't say next year, next week. No, as soon as you're ready, jump back into it, and do it with what you learned when you were reflecting. This is just me trying to tell everybody, it doesn't matter if you already gave up or you didn't care about the New Year's resolution, or you're just coming into this year with the resolution and you gave up 2 weeks in. This is me trying to help everybody out to make some change in their life. In order to grow as human beings, and in order to, accomplish goals and dreams, we tend to give up dreams because everyday life just takes a toll on us. Say we have dreams, say for me, for example, to become to make music. The thing is, you could have everyday struggles of school, family, jobs, financial stress, all these things, and then that takes you aside from your main goal. And then as you go on with life, you tend to just lose this. You give up on your dreams and hopes. The thing is, I don't want any of you to do that, no matter how young or how old. If the younger, just take advantage of this time. Take control right now. As well as if you're 60, 70, whatever age, take this time to change right now. Nothing is going to change for you just like that. You have to put in that effort. The thing is, we always try, like I said before, we always try to leave it for our future selves. No, do it right now. And that's what I'm doing with this video. I was like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, or I'll do it next week. I'm watch YouTube or something and then fall asleep. No, I have to sit down and make the video. Sit down, make the video, and that's it. And that's how it should be. Not I'll make it tomorrow, or I'll make it next week, or I'll take a little bit more planning. No, I know what I want to do. I know what I want to say. So I had to sit down, make the video. That's it. Because I was doing good like during November and December, and then boom, I just gave up. And that's because I let myself, down. No, I have to do this. I have to work on photography. I have to work on time management. I have to work with school and with my financials, like everything now. Because then later you leave all that stress for yourself, and boom, it hits you all at once one day, because you're like, oh, I'm a little ahead. I'll leave what like I said, what my teacher said, I'll leave what I can do tomorrow. Well, I'll leave what I can do today for tomorrow. And what happens? Something comes up out of nowhere, and then boom, you're fucked. And now what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? No, if you have something that you have to do today, that you can do today, do it today. Don't leave it for tomorrow. Take advantage of that time. Remember, sacrifices. Yes, you're gonna have to sacrifice a little bit of time sitting down watching Netflix or playing video games or YouTube, or whatever it is. But in the long run, it's gonna be way better. And then in the long run, guess what? You just tell yourself, if I work hard right now, I have even more time to watch Netflix next week, because I'll have all my homework and projects done, or I'll have all my work done, or whatever it is. But yeah, so I feel like I was all over this place with this video. My next video, I have a podcast coming up that I want to work on really bad. I want to work on other things like photography. You know what? I could go on all day about what I want to do. Who cares about what I want to do? That's for me. Also, if you don't have any plans but you want to work on something, start with writing it down. Or if you have a phone or whatever and you don't like writing things down, then go on notes and write something down. Remember, start with basics. Make a plan, a way you can grow. And if you fall, well, that's fine. You actually did something. Like I said, you actually committed to doing it in the first place. So if you fall, know that you actually tried in the first place, which is good. And you didn't just, leave it aside or not do it at all. And take time to reflect and grow from that. But yeah, the year just started. It just started. So don't give up. And remember, there's so much time. There's so much time left. Don't feel like you're rushed or anything like that. But also, don't go too easy on yourself. Sacrifices. Choose them. No matter who you are, race, ethnicity, age, sex, whoever you are. Just, I hope you guys have an amazing day. Like always, stay beautiful, stay sexy, stay gorgeous, stay intelligent. Stay happy. Keep a smile no matter what. Stay positive, because life will get better no matter where you are, as long as you try. But yes, that is it for this video. Thank you guys, and I will see you guys on the next one. I think that was all right. I swear I feel like I missed a few things. I missed a few things. I know I did. I'm gonna be editing this video and be like, oh damn, oh god. It's okay. I'll let future me take care of that. Future me from editing. I forgot to say that you should at least start, because the more you do, you'll feel better for the next time. So if you fail one time and you restart again, you feel like you're more used to it and you feel more motivated. And the thing is, start small, because when you start small and you give yourself small tasks to do when you're not used to doing anything, the more you do, the more happy you feel doing it, or the more accomplished you feel doing it. So say just waking up to every morning to do your bed, just doing that will make you feel like, do that the first thing you do. Just if you wake up, don't look at your phone, nothing like that, just do your bed, and just doing that will make you feel more productive, and you know, so on and so forth. You could get more complicated and all of that stuff. But yeah, let me give a quick example of this. So for example, I play piano. I start with 10 minutes, and then like after 3 days I go 20 minutes, and then after a week I start playing 30 minutes, because this has happened. And then all of a sudden, like the first week and a half, I didn't really want to play, and then after that week and a half, my body gets more used to it. So then it gets to the point where I actually want to do it. So at the 2 weeks mark, I actually want to do it, and all of a sudden 30 minutes of me playing goes by like nothing, and I start playing for 45 minutes to an hour, and all of a sudden I want to learn new songs and I get more motivated, and then all of a sudden I start playing 1 hour no problem, and then I start adding guitar onto that, or making more videos, because I'm all like, oh, I'm making more videos, I want to do photography now, and I start doing photography, and that I haven't done yet, but I want to do. So these are just examples of things, and yeah.